Yo, what's good, guys? Back again, new week. And I honestly didn't even trade today, man. I mean, I added some positions, but these trades were all yesterday. And basically just ended up swing trading into this morning because I'll show you guys in a second what happened. But obviously, Trump had to run his mouth over the weekend and make a bunch of threats and whatnot. So we gapped down about 400 points. But yeah, ended up with a pretty big day, $1,200 per account. And now we are actually sitting in profit on this account. I was down fat on the first day. I'm very proud of the way I handled it. Got back up to a positive balance, which is really nice. And this account sitting really nice still. I did take, I believe, $3,300 payout though, so I need to get this back up to like $6,600 or something like that before I can take another payout. I mean, I only got 3 winning days so far, so it's not that big of a deal anyways. But we need to still get about just under 3 grand on this account. So we got a long ways to go. The new payout rule is kind of stupid in my opinion, but it is what it is. Just makes you be more consistent. I probably should have took a bit lower of a payout on the first one, because then I could have already pretty much taken one again right now. But yeah, got 1,200 in those two accounts and passed half a combine. So I'm trying to get back up to 5 accounts, because that's where you really start to make money. It's not about getting one big payout. It's about getting smaller payouts on every single account. That's how you really rinse firms, in my opinion. But yeah, let's get into it. So today, no news Monday, which is awesome. I love no news Monday. And we have PPI tomorrow, so we were already going to be kind of slow because of that. But like I was saying, you can see Sunday open, we gap down just over 300 points to the top of the candle, and all the way to the wick we're about 400 points, which is ridiculous. These red lines here are all session lows we had stacked up, and we swept out every single one of them. And I knew we were going to gap down based off just the war news, but I didn't expect to gap down this much. And overall, we were still pretty bullish, so I was basically on the charts right away. At this point, we have no lows left, and we were just trading. Basically, the only thing on the sell side was this 4-hour gap. And I'm not going to say this was a great trade. It was definitely very risky, but I went into it knowing that. And as you can see, I had a very big stop loss. This was the original trade I took here. It's only 3 micros. I kept a huge stop. And I didn't start adding contracts till 2 hours later when I was a good amount in profit. And I added this one, the last one, 3.5 hours after I entered the trade. So I had a very wide stop to begin with, but like I said, we swept out all those lows, and I basically entered right off the rip. I waited a little bit. We did make a 30-second inversion that I can't show you guys on here, and then we did get this 1-minute gap. And as soon as we traded back down into it, I did enter a long position right here. Unfortunately, I did go quite a lot in the drawdown here. I had my stops just below this wick, so I had a feeling there was a chance we might come and grab it. Technically, it was a decently strong draw, so I had my stops below it just in case, and I was targeting all the way up this gap and up to these hourly equal highs. You can see this candle comes up, taps it, and then this one back here was an hourly as well as it was a data wick from a Trump tweet. So very strong draw, and I knew it was going to get hit, and I was bang on. But unfortunately, I did get stopped out in profit on this trade because I was going to bed and I was kind of tweaking about holding this trade because I don't know. I was just kind of being a bitch about it. I should have just held it all the way. But we did have somewhat of a 15-minute gap here, and then there is a 5-minute gap, I believe, as well. Maybe not. I believe it was a 15 I was going off, or maybe there was a 3-minute. I don't know. Like I said, guys, this was a while ago. And my stops ended up being just below the gap, and I got wicked out on this candle here. And then we went basically right to my original take profit. Would have hit a 1 to 4, but my stops were insanely wide. So realistically, like, proper normal sizing on that, where I'm not having a crazy stop, it would have been like a 1 to 10, but it ended up being about a 1 to 4. I caught $400 on that. Unfortunately, my TP would have been about 3,200 or something like that, but $400, I wasn't complaining. 415 actually, so that was the first win. And then I did take another trade right after, because I was kind of pissed. I pussied out on that, and I did enter again at 21, 27. So all the way over here, I did enter again. Wasn't really much I was going off on this one, guys. I don't really got much to explain. I just kind of left the runner overnight, and I believe I only started with 3, and then I added 2. So I left 5 running overnight, and then I added 4 more in the morning, which did not last long. Or sorry, these were 2 separate trades. Did take another one this morning. I forgot about that. 653. And yeah, that was a break-even trade. Forgot about that, but I did add this one single one in the morning, and I let 5 run overnight. And again, my stops were insanely wide on this trade because I was sleeping and I had no way to really manage this. My stops are all the way below this 15-minute gap here, just in case we did retrace into it and grab some liquidity. And then my take profit was all the way back up to that high. Still a 1 to 6 with a huge ass stop. Again, it would have been about $3,000 if I hit it. A little bit less, I think, actually. But you can see, I mean, this went all the way to the morning till it cashed out. But I did end up going quite a bit in profit overnight. Right about here, I was up about $1,300, and I ended up getting stopped out in profit again right here, which was really annoying because we literally draked up right after and went right to my TP. But I did still catch $800 on this. I didn't come anywhere near my stop overnight, so that was awesome. And guys, when we have these new week opening gaps, they never last long. You got to take advantage of them. I don't like taking out of session trades, but we have a gap this big, and there's no reason we should have gapped down that far other than Trump saying he was putting a blockade in. That was the only reason we dumped so hard. And on top of that, we took out a ton of lows, and we had these equal hourly highs. Like, this was a guarantee, guys. If you guys didn't take longs yesterday or today, you guys need to really study the draw on liquidity, and you guys also need to be involved in what's going on in the world. You got to know when we get something like this that it's just based off news. It's not actually the direction the market wants to go. You guys can see that we are clearly in a very strong uptrend. Price action's actually been really good since the end of last month, and you don't really want to go against that. Luckily, we did get the 400-point drop out of market open, right? So we got the down day without even having to trade it. So you can almost instantly expect us to return back to bullish. And I was just 100% confident we were going to come up to this. Unfortunately, I got a little bit nervous, not going to lie, because I was just floating around so much profit. I didn't want to lose it. And yeah, so I ended up taking $800 there. The reason I had my stops there was because there was I believe a 2-minute gap, or maybe a 5-minute gap. Yeah, there was a 5-minute gap here. I believe this is where it was, right here. And she might have been a little bit later. Not 100% sure. I think it was right here, actually, this 5-minute gap. I thought there was a chance we come down into it. And then we had this 3-minute gap here. And that was kind of like my, oh fuck, we're going to dump, because this was right at market open. And yeah. So I don't know. I got a little bit nervous with my stops, but I did re-enter, like I said, and got a break even. Basically right after that got taken out, I took my profits and entered with very small size right after we got this inversion. And I'm gonna say, guys, this was the trade of the day. If you were trading New York AM, it would have been way better to trade yesterday like I did. But you can see that gap I was just mentioning right here. So I get stopped out on this wick because my stops were below this gap. And we do end up respecting that 5-minute, and then we get this 1-minute IFEG right after, and we also took out a low while we're respecting the 5-minute. This was the trade of the day if you were trading New York AM. We're trading in a new week opening gap. We have clear buy side targets up above, not too far away, nothing on the sell side. We sweep low, we respect a 5-minute. Get a 1-minute IFEG with very strong displacement through a very nice V shape, and entering right off that would have been a really good play, which is what I did. But I didn't get that good of an entry. I think I got in all the way up here, and I did end up getting taken out at break even right there. Again, guys, I was just targeting up to here, but I was being a pussy because I already had locked in profit. There was no reason for me to even need more profit. I'm up 1,200 on the day. I shouldn't even have taken another trade, so I was being very cautious with this. Went about $200 in profit, came down, break even, and it is what it is. But if you guys did enter right here after this candle closed, and had your stops below that 5-minute gap, below this low here, and you target up to here, you're catching a beautiful 1 to 3.5, maybe even a 1 to 4 if you have tighter stops. And this did take quite a long time to play out. Don't get me wrong. This took almost 3 hours to play out because obviously we moved so much and it was no news Monday. Wasn't that much volume, but no drawdown on this trade at all. And this was the trade of the day, in my opinion. I was in it. I fucked up going break even too early. And yeah, so that was the trade of the day. That was a good trade. If you took that, good job. If you got in yesterday, a little bit more risky, but again, you guys got to understand market conditions and take advantage of something like a giant 400-point new week opening gap. Like, we don't get that very often, right? So now we've traded all the way back up here. We reversed that whole 400-point open gap, and we went up about 700 points today, which is fucking ridiculous on a no news Monday. But we do have PPI tomorrow, so there should be some decent volume still. We also took out these highs, and next on the docket would be closing this candle up above this 4-hour gap here. I'd like to see that if we are going to remain bullish, but I will not be surprised if we get a little bit of a retrace tomorrow because we did basically shoot straight up. So we'll see what happens, but good day for me overall. And I forgot to mention that second trade was the one I passed half my combine on. Obviously, I didn't have the TP that far, but that was the one I captured $1,500 on that account for. And yeah, really good day overall. If we do keep going up tomorrow, we do have this gap that is unfilled. That is next on the list for me. And then I got to look at the old NQ, but I believe we are getting close to all-time highs if we get above this, but I'd have to take a look. So yeah, PPI tomorrow, so be careful. That is going to be a big wick. I would not full port it because that should have just not been working lately. I've got fried the past like 4 times I've tried to do it, so I would just stay away from it if I were you guys. I think the market makers kind of figured out we were doing that shit. Uh, I don't know. It's just weird how it started becoming a thing on social media, and then as soon as that happened, it stopped working. Like, we'll still go up or down 80, 90 points like we used to, but there's always like a stop hunt before that happens, or like a wick the other way to enter you in the other side, and it's just weird. Something's a little bit off with that, but tomorrow's really our only news day of the week, so it should be a good one. Trump seems to chill out a little bit. They're talking about peace deals again and whatnot, so hopefully we can have a good week. If I end this week strong, I'm taking 2 payouts for sure, and yeah, it'll be a good week, and we just keep rolling. Monthly P&L's looking fucking awesome so far. Last month was good too, so just got to keep rolling with it, and staying disciplined and not getting in my head again, because that's what fucked me last time. So yeah, with all that being said, I'm gonna end this one here. Hope you guys enjoyed. Leave a like, comment, subscribe if you did, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.